Hello, friends of Reed Ministries. We want to share with you today the amazing ways that God is using the Ukraine Relief Fund. Many of our partners have been able to stay in their cities or regions to minister and to serve hundreds of people out of the millions of people that have already been displaced in Ukraine. They are providing safe havens, warm beds to sleep in, good meals to eat, and basic things like clothing and haircuts to help people that have been shell-shocked and torn up by this war. They are doing this through their churches, through their seminaries, and even their homes. And they are also providing critical transportation to these exiles who are crossing into Western Ukraine or even across borders into other countries. Your generous gifts are having significant impact in helping our dear brothers and sisters in Ukraine. Bill Arvin, our Foreign Projects Coordinator, is going to share with you 4 avenues of impact to this war and how it has shaped our partners' response in helping those in need.
The now month-old war taking place in Ukraine has impacted Reed's ministry partners in a handful of different ways. And the way our partners and their locations have been specifically impacted has shaped Reed's response through our Ukrainian Relief Fund to come alongside them and offer our support and our assistance. One of the ways that our partners have been impacted is if they live in a place that is directly being attacked by Russian forces. The Tavrisky Christian Institute in the very southern part of Ukraine is an example of that situation. And in that situation, the Tavrisky Christian Institute community was able, with just 1 day of preparation, to flee, bring their entire community out of Kherson and resettle in the far western reaches of Ukraine. In the central part of Ukraine, in a city like Dnipropetrovsk or a city like Kremenchuk, we have partners who are not under immediate threat of bombardment or attack, but who, because of their location on the river, where there are bridges from the eastern part of Ukraine to the western part of Ukraine, are in a geographical location where thousands of internally displaced people fleeing the fighting in the east are moving to the west. And these schools have been turned into refugee centers where every night scores of internally displaced people come, receive food, receive a place to sleep, and receive a spiritual encouragement, given copies of the Holy Scriptures, and then encouraged and sent on their way further to the west to find safety in Western Ukraine. We have some partners in Ukraine that are in the far western part of Ukraine, like Lviv or Rivne or in Dunaevsy. And there, their schools churches have been turned into refugee relief centers for the distribution of humanitarian aid and a spiritual encouragement and help. We have some from the Kremenchuk area that have relocated their women and children and older men out of Ukraine into Poland. And in the central city of Poland called Turek, there's a growing number of exiles from the Kremenchuk area, and we're committed to supporting them. Hope this gives you some sense of how your gifts that you send to Reed are being shared with our ministry partners, depending on their circumstances and locations, to respond to this crisis gripping Ukraine. Thank you for entrusting us with these resources. Pray for their safe delivery and that they will be a blessing to God's people and to the citizens of Ukraine. Thank you.
Bill has given you a good overview of what is happening with our partners in Ukraine. These pictures that you are seeing now come directly from our friends at God's Design Church in the heart of Kyiv. Pastor Oleg and his family and his church family are doing tireless work every single day to minister to the needs of their friends and strangers who they are welcoming into their church and providing for them in so many ways. Paul exhorts us in the scriptures to do good to all people, especially people in the household of faith. We are about that at Reed, and you and your gift to us are helping to accomplish that. These gifts are being used now and will be used for months to come, but it is possible that these gifts also will need to continue to grow for years to come. We ask that you would pray and give as you are able to continue to fund what is happening in this relief effort. Thank you, and please pray with us that God's mercy and grace and peace will be brought to Ukraine.